Okay, let's start the meeting. Good afternoon and welcome to the Calexico City Council Redevelopment Successor Agency, Calexico Financial Authority, regular meeting of July 19, 2016. Call to the order.
Here.
Madam Clerk, call for the, here.
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 Sí.
Councilmember Kim? Here. They're all present, we have a quorum, Mayor?
Thank you. Will you please, Madam Clerk, read the announcements for public comments?
This is the time for the public to address the city council on closed session items only. The mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name and place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meeting with personal or slanderous remarks. The city council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not included in the printed agenda. Please direct your questions and comments to the city council.
Do we have any public comments?
No, sir, we do not.
We don't have. Okay, next item is closed session. Madam Clerk, please read the announcement.
A closed session of the City Council, Calexico Community Redevelopment Agency, Successor Agency, Calexico Financing Authority may be held in accordance with state law, which may include but not limited to the following types of items: personal matters, labor negotiations, security matters, providing instructions to real property negotiators, and conference with legal counsel regarding pending litigation. The closed session will be held in the City Hall Conference Room located at 608 Heber Avenue, Calexico, California. Any public comment or closed sessions will be taken before closed session. Any required announcements or discussion of closed session items or actions following closed session will be made by the City Council chambers at 608 Heber Avenue, Calexico, California.
Okay, council will combine in closed session at 5:50 p.m. to discuss conference with labor negotiation.
We have to read the agenda, no? The items?
I don't think so. City Attorney, do I have to read
Does he have to read that?
You don't have to read it. Just
No?
say, we're adjourning to closed session on the items that are on the agenda.
Labor negotiation.
Labor negotiations.
Okay, already said it. Okay, let's go. Order, please. Thank you. Okay. Can you close the door, please? Can you close the back door? Officer Serrano, can you close the back door, please? No way. Okay. Good afternoon and welcome to the regular session of the Calexico City Council, Calexico Redevelopment Successor Agency, Calexico Financial Authority meeting. At this meeting to order at 6:31. Madam Clerk, would you please take the roll call?
Mayor Castro,
Here.
Mayor Bertrand,
Here.
Councilmember Hurtado,
Here.
Councilmember Moreno,
Here.
Councilmember Kim.
Here.
We have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you. Mrs. Gabi, will you please lead us on the Pledge of Allegiance? Can you, everybody raise, please?
Ready? Begin.
beautiful quorum. Yeah, okay. Next item. Okay, next item, closed session announcement. Mr. Hargrave, can you?
There were no
help us on that?
reportable actions taken.
Thank you. The next item is approval of the agenda, but I would like to add an item on the agenda. It's related to Calexico parents athletic league before any items on the agenda. So,
I'll second that. Or did you want to
Go
approve
ahead.
that?
No, go ahead.
oh, we have a,
I'll move on that.
okay, we will have a motion,
Second?
second.
I have a discussion.
Okay, we
Yes,
have a motion.
Yeah, since we are kidding here, I'm not going to say my word, but we supposed to put in the agenda. This agenda is not fully been postponed, tabled like last meeting. We supposed to tend to say 2 items. It was supposed to be there, only one with alternate, and agenda shouldn't be altered. We are tabled it. And second,
I'm not sure, Mr. Kim. Could you repeat that again?
tend to say the altered agenda. It shouldn't be altered agenda because we tabled it. The table item, so should it be the exactly same one, is not altered the agenda.
I think we continued it. Is that the
Yes.
correct terminology, Mr.
Continue.
Hargrave?
Yeah. So
We
the
con-
same thing.
We continued it.
Yeah, continue, same agenda supposed to be there, and they changed it.
Is it a number 5?
It
Yes.
was my understanding that we were directed to come back with an ordinance at
No,
this meeting.
no one had the direction on those. Just the opinion was. And the other one was, we had as a mayor, I was presenting the plaque. Unfortunately, people didn't come. So I wanted to have it this time. We were discussing, we're gonna have another one. The recognition is not here. So I believe it's very important to recognizing someone who's been served the city. We should be proper recognition should be there, and it's not there. Thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion and second on the table. All those in favor to say aye?
Aye.
Your
Aye.
motion is to change it so that we can have the presentation.
Yes. that's the
And so,
motion.
Mr. Castro, just for clarification, you want it right above public comments?
Yes,
Okay. So it would go right after announcements and before public comments.
yes,
Thank you.
no problem.
Aye.
I'm
Aye.
gonna say for the children, but I had something I had to say, but I'm gonna approve for the children's.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed, 5-0. I believe you support that, Mrs. Marisa?
I said
Yes,
aye.
yes. Okay, well, let's start with Mrs. Estrada. Is Mrs. Estrada is here? Edna, can you give us all the information and all the details related to the CPAL?
Buenas tardes, padres. ¿Me escuchan?
Sí.
¿Sí? ¿Escuchan? ¿Escuchan? Ok. So, en esta ocasión, como estuvimos la vez pasada, prometimos traernos el campeonato estatal de California. So, en esta ocasión contamos con 8 delegaciones en diferentes categorías, en las cuales Calexico, como siempre, nos trajimos nuestras medallas. ¿Ok? Nos trajimos 6 primeros lugares y nos trajimos 2 terceros lugares en todas sus categorías. So, en esta ocasión tenemos aquí presente la categoría 2008. So, ellos quedaron third place. Es primera vez que participan en un Cal State Game. Son niños de 6 años. Ok, al frente tenemos a su coach, Noé García. Okay. En aquel lado tenemos 2 divisiones. Tenemos niños de la categoría 2006 que quedaron third place con su coach Omar Martínez. Y tenemos también los niños 2007 en su categoría, quedando campeones con su coach. En el momento no puede estar aquí, Francisco Meléndez. Estamos entrenando para un torneo muy importante también del otro lado de la frontera. Y no
Francisco
vinieron
trabaja
todos
por la
ahorita.
ciudad, ¿no? Francisco trabaja por la ciudad.
Sí, Francisco Meléndez. Ok. Al frente. Y tenemos un apoyo más, que son los assistant coach, que nos hicieron el favor de apoyar a estos selectivos. Es Arturo Mora. Entonces, como todos los padres, esta es como una tercera parte de todos los padres que estuvimos ahí en la ciudad de Chula Vista el fin de semana pasado. Venimos a pedirle a la comunidad que nos apoyen a cumplir nuestros sueños. Como les habíamos comentado, es el tercer año que quedamos campeones a nivel estatal. En esta ocasión, vamos a trabajar muy duro todos los padres y niños para poder llegar a nuestra meta. Nuestra meta es Michigan 2017, donde se jugarán los nacionales. Okay, it's going to be the National Olympic 2017. They have the place to go there. Please, community, parents, and athletics, be support our league and be support our community. Okay, Calexico, it's going to be on the top of the part. Y estos niños, estos coaches carecen de muchas cosas. Si ustedes se pudieron dar cuenta, podrían haber pasado por los campos. Ellos no cuentan con unos entrenadores profesionales, ni con las mejores uniformes. Más sin embargo, están ahí representando a Calexico. Para mí es una emoción contar también por primera vez en una inauguración tan importante el día 15 en el Qualcomm Stadium. Son muchos que somos nativos de California, sabemos que es un Qualcomm Stadium. ¿Quién puede pisar un Qualcomm Stadium? Esta ocasión los niños estuvieron ahí, padres llorando desde las gradas. Sentir esa emoción y por primera vez se cumplió llevar a un City Mayor a la ceremonia de inauguración. En esta ocasión nos acompañó el señor Castro.
Gracias.
Ok. Padres.
¿Cuántos goles metió? ¿Cuántos goles metió el Castro?
Lo vamos a entrenar para Michigan. Entonces, padres, este es un sueño más cumplido. Desde la pequeña edad de 6 años hasta los niños de 18 años que participaron. Con el apoyo de ustedes y la comunidad, los vamos a lograr. Michigan 2017. Ok, vamos a venir a demostrar el nombre de Calexico.
Buenas tardes. Buenas tardes, soy Carmen Estrada. Quiero primeramente darle las gracias a los padres, a los coaches, a los niños, a las personas que están con nosotros, que creo que son todo el pueblo está con nosotros. Hemos aprendido errores que hemos tenido y vamos avanzando para crecer más como personas y como liga. Quiero decirles que hicimos llamadas, nos hacían falta 5 habitaciones. Hicimos llamadas a personas de aquí de Calexico, el cual se nos brindó 5 habitaciones. En esta ocasión, Armando, gracias por donarnos una habitación a una familia de escasos recursos. Señor Castro, señora Silvia, señor Juan Carlos de Santo Tomás, ahorita McDonald José, que tiene niños también con nosotros, y son bastantes personas que ayudan al programa. Yo tengo fe que sí vamos a ir esta ocasión a Michigan, porque si estábamos más de 1,000 personas en el parque Qualcomm, 1,000 personas de todo Calexico, la verdad, la piel se enchina porque Calexico es un pueblo tan pequeño y estar en las gradas, todo rojo Calexico, Señor Castro, pues le tocó ver, es algo sensacional. Créanme que yo traigo emociones de correr a la calle y decir, sí podemos, sí podemos. Esta es una emoción bien grande para Calexico. No nomás hay malo, hay bueno, y nosotros vamos a seguir creciendo en conjunto con ellos, que sí nos apoyan, pero ellos, como ven que estamos creciendo, es de la manera que va a haber el apoyo hacia acá. Quiero darle muchas gracias a todos ustedes, a los de la ciudad, porque yo sé que sí se dificultan cosas, ¿verdad? Las cuales no las voy a mencionar, pero hay más gente que está con nosotros para apoyar que destruir. Gracias, papás. Muchas gracias.
Gracias, señora Estrada. Yo, en lo personal, quiero darle las gracias a los padres, a los coaches y sobre todo a los niños. Aquí en Calexico hay mucho talento y lo han demostrado, ya tienen años demostrándolo. Pues es el futuro de Calexico, estos jovencitos, y pues ya empezaron muy bien. Tienen el apoyo aquí de la ciudad. Vamos a trabajar para buscar cómo atenderlos, cómo buscar fondos para que no tengan esos problemas, para que sigan desempeñando el deporte aquí en Calexico. Yo estoy trabajando con la mayoría de mis compañeros y especialmente con el administrador, que en esta ocasión nos apoyó más bien a ustedes, y vamos a seguir luchando por buscar fondos para seguirlos apoyando. Para mí fue un honor. Yo fui con mi esposa, desfilé con los jovencitos y, como dijo la señora Estrada, es algo que lo emociona a uno. Gracias por invitarme. Gracias. Okay. Muchas gracias. Next items. Would you please, Madam Clerk, can you read the public comments, please?
This is the time for the public to address the city council on any item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city council. The mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name and place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meeting with personal or slanderous remarks. If the item you wish to comment on is a closed session or consent item, please comment now. The city council is prohibited by state law from making any action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. If the item you wish to comment on is on the public portion of the agenda, we will take your comment when we get to the item on the agenda. Please direct your questions and comments to the city council.
Okay. Do we have public comments, City Clerk? We don't have no more public comments. Okay. So let's start working on the council member comments. And I will start to my right.
I'm not ready yet.
Mrs. Marisa.
I'm not ready yet.
You're not ready?
yet.
Mr. Mandy Real?
I have
do
no
you have
comments. Actually.
Mr. Kim, do you have public comments? No? Mr. Moreno?
No, sir.
No, sir. Okay.
Then I'm going to do.
Okay, Mr. Kim. Oh, you know what? We are going to take 3 minutes recess to let the kids go out, or, unless you want to stay. No?
Take him to McDonald's.
And we're going to start with Mr. Kim, council member, Mr. Kim.
Okay.
You got the timer?
City council comments. Okay, it's right here.
Okay. Muy buenas noches. Muchas gracias por la participación de aquí, de la Junta de Ciudad. Mi señor Castro me provocó si hablar español. Thank you. Okay. I was happy to see our kid has been achieved the goal, and regardless, city of Calexico is very, very limited, or almost we're not helping them, we're not supporting them enough. And I believe we have to find some of the fun to keep on doing our children's sports. The children's sport is the best medicine for the children to achieve the goal, the best way of their education, how to live for their future, and also the preventing a lot of the criminal activity in the teenagers. So we should be focusing on our children's sport to make sure they learn from there. And I've been say very sadly to seeing the situation right now in the city of Calexico. We are failing to serve the community. We have a lot of safety issues, and people were saying they called the police over 2 hours. They never showed up, and a lot of things we cannot prepare for serve the community, and that, in a way, is starting from years ago, but we are the one end up to responsible on those. And my fellow council should work carefully to bring the city in right situation as soon as possible. And also, I want to mention a little bit about how we conduct the meeting, how we prepare the agenda. We should follow the rules, not we making own rules. Thank you.
Okay. Council Member Maritza, are you ready, or you want me to call Real?
I'm fine.
Okay.
With regard to a comment that I just heard, that our police department does not respond after 2 hours, I actually had an incident this weekend. I had an attempted break-in in my home. And I was upstairs, and my dog was barking. And she was barking a little more annoying than normal. And so I figured something was wrong. And when I went downstairs and I looked through the window, I was face to face with the possible intruder. Younger kid, didn't look like he was very stable mentally or otherwise. And of course, I was by myself. My son had just left. My son is always home, and he had left. And so I called 911. And my experience actually was a favorable experience. They showed up immediately. Not because it was me, I guess maybe because it was 9 in the morning, which was kind of odd for a break-in at 9 in the morning in daylight like that. And they caught the suspects. They were able to go out there and find them, and very close by, it was probably a couple of blocks away. And I was able to go over there and identify them, and I believe, in my view, as how they handled things was extremely exemplary and professional. And they caught them. And unfortunately, we're talking about 2 young kids here in Calexico. At first, I didn't recognize really if they were from Calexico, and apparently they are. And so it's kind of sad, that we had these 2 young souls be caught doing that type of crime in Calexico. And so I do also applaud the efforts of our volunteers in the city of Calexico, like Ms. Estrada and the CPAL, that are out there all the time trying to get the kids not to go into different activities other than positive ones. Unfortunately, we have other type of crimes that, I do think about the fact that we do have a lower amount of services right now. But actually, in discussing with these 2 gentlemen that came to save me, which is Officer Zamora and Officer Carvajal, I wanted to personally thank them for helping me out and catching those young men to put them straight. That you have a city that right now, given the circumstances that we do have, want to be able to pull together and help each other out. The limited resources are definitely recognized by our staff, but they're making do. And that's what I hear a lot from our departments, is that they are definitely making do with what they have. And I'm proud of them for that. And we do want, I know that this council wants to restore that confidence of our staff. It's going to be a hard road to get there. But we have no other option other than to get there. So thank you very much to the Calexico staff for professionalism and doing such a hard job, especially in the circumstances of our nation and that we have so much negativity out there. On a positive note, I'd like to add that we have a great business here in the city of Calexico. It's called Hope Cafe. If any of you guys want to go out there and visit, it's a locally owned, family-based business, and it's very popular. Great food, and now this weekend I had a great time there on Sundays. Every Sunday they have a bazaar, and thank you, City of Calexico, for making that happen for them. I know that our farmers market is really popular too. Totally different monster what a farmers market is and what they're doing here as far as the bazaar. And it's every Sunday at 7 o'clock. So those are the examples of the City of Calexico. When you see people who are trying their best with little resources as well as business owners and risk takers. Risk takers, we're all risk takers here in the City of Calexico, but I guess that's what it takes to get things to happen. So congratulations to them too. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Maritza. Councilman Real, do you have
No comments?
public comments? Okay, we don't have no, Mr. Moreno? Okay. Okay, I would like to,
I have a comment. How do I get this thing to
Yes.
work?
No?
No.
No comments? Okay, thank you. Okay, this past Friday, my wife and I attend California State Games in San Diego, of which 8 football soccer teams from the Calexico Parents Athletic League participated. It was a great event, and the children showed their great talents. And I am proud to announce that they brought home 6 gold medals and 2 bronze medals. That's something amazing, something incredible, because 8 groups of kids, of teams, they went to California Olympics Games. And in the next year, 2017, they are preparing to go to make it to go to Michigan. That's something incredible. Why is incredible? Because Calexico, we're talking about 40,000 population city, is going to represent California up there in Michigan. So for me, that's something incredible, and there is something that we need to support. And I'm working very close with the administration, and I would like the support from my colleagues to work and look for some kind of account in order to support these teams. And I'm talking about all the teams in Calexico, all the players in Calexico. This is something that I'm proud about it. So, Mr. Villa, in the future, not too long, we need to work on that. Please. Thank you. That's it. Okay, next item. We have a city manager report. Mr. Villa, do you have something to report?
No items at this point.
Not yet. I mean, not yet, or no? Nothing to report?
No, nothing to report.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next item is consent agenda. Madam Clerk, can you please read the announcement for consent agenda?
All matters listed under the consent calendar are to be considered routine by the City Council, Calexico Community Redevelopment Agency, successor agency, or Calexico Financing Authority, and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Any item may be removed from the consent calendar, and considered separately by the City Council.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
We have
I have a,
Aye.
I have
We have
item
a-
number 4.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Wait a minute.
Let me ask this to the city attorney. City attorney, I have a motion and I have a second. After that, can we continue to vote, or I need to wait because Mr. Kim, he called for, I mean, you called for the question?
No, I was pulling out. You're supposed to give to any council member chance to pull out first.
What do you mean? Can you explain that?
Okay. Any item that can be pulled out before we make the motion of
Of
approve
course.
it. That's what I'm saying. I tried. You just asking the motion.
No. My colleagues, they start to vote. I didn't ask for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so, you wanna- I'm sorry?
Typically, what we do is there's a motion and a second, and then you can open it for discussion.
Oh, okay.
And if someone wants to pull an
Mr.
item,
Hargrave,
then you can.
Can I ask a question? So should the person who seconded, can he second it for discussion? And if he chooses to, if he chooses not to, then we take a vote?
Well, typically, under Robert's rules, you have a motion and a second, it's open for discussion. And then if you want to
Has to be a discussion.
close the vote, that could be another motion. But it,
Which is call
there
for the
again,
question, right?
it really depends on the different, every city council does it different. Every city council has their own way of going about it. Sometimes you have written rules, sometimes you just have an understanding, and ultimately, it's up to the presiding
Well,
officer.
let me ask the
to-
mayor, Mr. Kim wanted to pull one item?
I believe, or you want to discuss or pull one?
Now, I want to pull, we should have a chance, every council member should have a chance to pull the item first.
Yes.
Then we make the motion to do it.
You want to pull an item, Mr. Kim?
Number 4, yes.
Okay, which item do you want to pull? Discussion, potential item.
What number you
4,
want
yeah,
to?
Number 4.
The IBC
Number
work
4.
study that we do every year?
Number 4.
Okay, I'll motion to approve 2 and 3.
Second.
Okay,
Aye.
all those in favor on these items, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion pass. Item number
Well,
4.
Motion passed.
Mr.
What was
Kim?
the vote, Mr. Mayor?
4-1, I believe.
No, it's unanimous.
Oh, wasn't, okay, 5-0. Okay,
Are we going to do the vote up there ever?
no,
I don't think it's working.
okay.
We
Item,
need to have it
um,
exact.
Let's try it.
Okay, item number 4, consideration of contract for IBC work study program for fiscal year 2016 through
2017, yeah.
2017.
This,
Mr. Kim, do you have a?
Yeah.
Question
It's,
on
I'd like to
it's
get a little more detail by the Mr.
Oh, it's working.
Villa.
So,
about this?
Mr. Mayor and members of the council, this is a thing that we do every year. It's a contract that we entered into with the IBC work study program. And what it is that every year, as part of a work program, internship program, they provide certain amount of funds. It's roughly about 65% of the cost of a person, and we provide 35% of the difference in order to be able to offer internships or work study programs for students to take advantage of the workplace. So again, this is a pretty standard program. We try to do it every year, and it's a good way to train future professionals.
Yeah, but what I believe that we not really implemented. We didn't have, mostly we get it from the hunter, not from the IVC.
Well, what you're referring to would be temporary employees. This program would be students that they would sign up themselves, and we would actually place in different departments, and we would be on the hook to pay for 35% of their salary.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. But we, City of Calexico, we're calling from the hunter, the temporary employee instead of the IBC programs. So can we utilizing this one for the 100% as much as we can?
What's the question?
Can we what's called implementing this program to saving our budget? That's what I'm trying to say.
I didn't get the last part. Can you repeat that again?
Okay, we have a yearly, we having contract, whatever, but we're not really using it, this program. we're using through the temporary employment agency. So this time, are we gonna really using it?
That's what I'm asking, that you allow me to sign a contract with them so that I can bring students and take advantage of this program.
I think
we
what it
will
is,
start
Mr. Villa, is that he needs to, probably the public also needs to understand the difference between your resources. Because the resources here with IVC, for example, the contract here says that these resources are not available during the summer, which is different to people who are coming from a temporary agency that they're available year-round. Is that correct, City Attorney? Oh, well, the documents we're reading here and the fact that we all know how the programs work, because I also hire through these different programs, is that there are different resources that are handled and paid differently.
Right. So what I was just told is that in the past, they haven't had that many students, and what we end up doing is we end up supplementing those students with Hunter employees.
Yeah, because their availability is limited. Like it says here, they're not available during the summer.
Right.
Because they're tied, their service to the city is tied to their school hours.
Correct. So if you're asking whether we're going to try
We're
to...
gonna be
we are gonna
100%
push
utilizing
forward,
this
yeah,
system.
Put hard, yeah.
Thank you. I make the motion, if nobody question, I make the motion to approve it.
Okay, all those in favor of
Second,
this
we don't have
item?
a second.
Item number 4?
We don't have a second.
I will second, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion pass 5-0. Okay, item number 5. Discussion and potential action items. Item number 5. Ordinance number 1170 of the City Council of the City of Calexico, California, adding a chapter 5-98 to the City of Calexico Municipal Code regulating off-site display and sell automobile in the city.
Well,
Any comment?
that was also contested last time. Last meeting, we was saying is we gonna be continue to next meeting, which is, so we supposed to using same agenda to have a discussion or make the decision. Now, the city staff alter the agenda.
City Manager, I have a question about Councilman Real's participation in this discussion and this vote. I understand he's now an employee of Desert Auto Plaza, which Desert Auto Plaza happens to be one of the major proponents of this resolution.
May I,
Yes, please.
so actually, the attorneys, I had a discussion on that, and because it's not involved with one dealership in particular, it's a whole umbrella. You have someone from Rogers and Rogers here who also wants to do tent sales in the city of Calexico. Has nothing to do with one dealership. It's an umbrella, so that's not a problem. Yeah.
Okay, any more question to?
Mr.
No,
Mayor,
there's a comment from.
So, Mr. Chair,
Oh,
so
okay. There is
what
a-
we are
no.
prepared to do is to give you a staff report, and I think the attorney would give you a presentation, and then we would ask public to have input on it.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, this is an item that's been before you several times over the last 6 months on the tent sales. As I remember at the last meeting, it came up, and we were directed to come back with an ordinance. I believe at that time, it was an ordinance allowing one tent sale per dealership per year, and then in the interim, we got direction to at least propose it as 2 tent sales per dealership per year, but that's subject to your discussion. But the tent sales would be subject to a permit process. There would be the standard kind of conditions that they comply with, city ordinances, that the operation not be detrimental to the neighborhood, and all the, the particulars are in the staff report in the ordinance. And there again, this is not, before we had emergency ordinances, and this is just a standard ordinance, so this would be the first reading. It'll come back again at the next meeting, assuming you pass it for a second reading, and then it would be effective in 30 days. Are there any questions?
Yes, I
But
have.
Go ahead.
I do have a question. In your background, I think it was, where was it that I read it? Where was it that I read it? I read somewhere around here about the actual sales and the final, where is it? Oh, over here. I guess, I'm not sure, does the public have these?
That was provided to you in case you had any questions on the possible fiscal effects of allowing. So you may bring that up if you want.
I think
What
we've-
I wanted to ask on this here, it talks about how Mr. Villa receives a letter from Isaac Garcia down at Desert Auto, and where there was 2 tent sales in January and March, I guess that's 2016, it doesn't say, but I would assume they were talking about recently. And it says that in the 2 events, there was approximately 100 vehicles sold. Not sure if that's 100 vehicles between both of those, or it was 50 per event, but I would assume it's 100 per. And then each vehicle was sold for an average of $17,000, almost $18,000. And it says that Direct Auto spent $65,000 to set up rentals, this and that. And then it says that the city's share of revenues were $17,995. What exactly is that? Is that sales tax? Is that our percentage?
That
Because I
is,
understood when vehicles are sold, autos are sold, I know we have a couple of people here that can tell us more specifically, and the question's always been out there, is that when you buy a car, we all thought, a lot of conversations I've had is that the sales tax goes to the zip code of your purchaser. Is that correct? Because then I would like to know what this means here when it talks about city's share on revenue, $18,000. What does that entail? Does that entail then the percentage coming to those that we were directly, as per how this all happens with sales tax? I thought it was different with sales of auto.
So.
Is anybody there that can tell us?
Yes, I believe, I've been confirmed with the dealers too. So the sales tax that goes to the buyers living cities, zip codes.
So if I
Only,
may-
can I?
If I may, yeah. So the assumption is that out of the 100 cars that they sold with an average of $17,995, the total amount for those 2 events would have been $1,700,000 in total sales, assuming that the city, if everybody that bought a car was from Calexico, then the actual return to the city would be 1 cent of that 8.25 cents that they would pay in taxes. And that would equate to approximately $17,995 to the city.
So it's
So this is
misleading.
not necessarily
to that-
accurate. This is not
That
necessarily
is
accurate.
that is actually.
Mr. Villa, this is not necessarily accurate then?
Well,
I mean, because I really think we need to
it's a-
understand to make
it's
these
a-
decisions.
Well, if we had a way, and we're trying to get a report from our consultant that tracks sales tax to have an exact number for you. But, obviously they had an event in Calexico, so they were hoping to attract 100% of the customers from Calexico. So if that is the case, then the net revenue to the city would be about $17,000. This is an approximate number. We have yet to get the actual numbers from our consultant, right? And we would have
HD.
more accurate, HDL, yeah.
So the city's take on 2 tent sales is approximately $18,000?
Yes.
Actually,
To the
It's
cities,
100%
Hold on.
approximately to the city's
City of
general
Calexico
fund.
resident.
that's
we-
not including Measure H, though.
No, we get another
Half cent?
half cent.
So
that
it would
goes
be
to me-
9,000 more.
Yes.
About $25,000.
Assuming that
approximately.
it's going to go to 92231.
No. It all. Let me. Can I? Sure. So
I think we need
the major reason why dealerships, like for example, cities like Imperial, El Centro, and any city wants to have a dealership in its city, is because of what is a 1% tax that goes directly to the city. It's not because of the other 8.8% that's redistributed by the state. The same. That doesn't change. Whether a car sold here, El Centro, Imperial, wherever it's sold, the money still comes back to the city. Right? Now, if you're from Calexico and you buy a car in El Centro, I'll give you an example. If I purchase a car in El Centro, but I live in Calexico, only the Measure H money comes to Calexico. That comes here, but not the 1%. Okay? You want to bet?
Nope.
The 1% stays here if the dealership is here. That's the only thing that a city gains from having a dealership in the city is a 1% tax, which is exactly what they're showing you. It's, in other words, the city gets 1.5% taxes of whatever, of that 8.5% that they charge. So the other 7% goes to the state and they redistribute it. However, I don't know exactly how that works. I'm assuming some goes to DMV or whatever, but it's actually 1.5%, correct? That stays in the city of Calexico.
That's correct.
You're
When
wrong.
it's the 922.
When I went to the LA, I bought a car,
When it's the 922.
they charging me sales tax in the rate of the Calexico
I
rate.
understand that,
That
but
they
the,
goes to the buyers, the zip
no,
codes.
no, only your 0.5%, that's it. Only whatever's increased, not the full amount. If the full amount came here,
Again,
the city would
sales
be
tax
millionaire.
go to the buyers' zip codes.
It does, but
That
not,
they charging me the Calexico rate, not.
of course they do, but please, somebody help me here. Does anybody,
Okay,
you're a
this-
tax,
this,
you're a
uh,
tax
this one is,
consultant.
May I ask another question? Maybe
misleading,
let's
and
move
also-
away from that. Let me ask another question. Then we have another letter here that says that the fees for the tent sale permit, and I'm going to assume those are City of Calexico fees, it says apply for a temporary use permit, planning is $135, and fire is $240 for a total fees of $375 per event. I'm going to assume that's what we're talking about. But is that the reduced, because remember we'd reduced everything, is that the reduced fee? And if it is, what would we be having actually charged if we would have left that alone? And we'd be charging the real thing? I mean, the previous thing.
It's the full fee.
That's previous to the reduction?
That's the full fee, yes. The
Previous to the reduction?
fees that would
That-
apply right now would be the full fee.
Somebody help me here. Planning's fees were reduced, fire's fees were reduced? And so I am, is this?
250 as a fire fee
It
is the
sounds low.
maximum,
It's a little
maximum
low.
they charge.
Let me
no matter what.
call on Ralph,
Let,
so maybe,
Let the staff.
probably when
give
the
us
permits were
information.
taken out, we had the reduction in fees in place, but this is the fee now, which.
That's what I'm
which
trying to
now- Now
understand.
the fees are up to 100%.
Okay.
The fee for, there's two permits they have to get. One permit is for a temporary use permit, which is $181. And then the other permit that they get is from the fire department to do an inspection. And actually, that's the fee that's charged. The comparison on the fire fees, actually, their inspection fee has gone up from, it was higher with El Centro when it was reduced. So their fee is actually $161. That's the fee right now. And I think what they were charging before was almost $180, about $20 difference.
I guess what it is that when we have to sit down and make these decisions, we'd like to know, because having lost that revenue from our permits and fees, we want to carefully make decisions and know comparisons. And so, thank you. I guess then this is then the new fee.
I would like to add that you know what, those fees are very low. And I don't know. I thought it was more like in the $2,000 range. But I mean, I think they're really low. I think the city should
I don't see
definitely.
I don't see the $20,000 they pay the fees. Mr. Real said the last meeting was the Director Plaza.
No,
They
no.
said they paid the
If-
$20,000 fee for that.
If you look at what I said it costs more than $20,000 to do a
No,
tent
you
sale.
said that
I
you
didn't
paid
say
the
cost.
$20,000 fee. I request, ask you.
never
and
said that.
You said yes.
I never said that. I said they pay up to $20,000 because Walmart charges them almost $5,000 just to rent it for 4 days. So
Well, you
it's the
told
cost.
us the $20,000 fee, they pay
Look,
the fees.
you know what? Whatever.
And also,
I'll let-
the, also, as for our merchants, they lost 100 car sales. The people who they don't have a business in here, if they open the business here, they sold 100, well, they lost during the competition. So we just have from outside coming into our city to pay about a couple $100 to take the 100 car sales, $1.7 million. And city, we don't take any sales tax from there. And whose benefit? Our city is supposed to be to protect and help our local business. And we failed it. That's one of the reasons. If anybody interested to sell in Calexico, are welcome to come to open their dealership to compete with the local business, I'm fine with it. But they just come here and then hit and run, they're hurting the business. So we as a council member, we have to find a way to help this local business.
Mr. Mayor, may I? May I?
Yes.
The other thing, I'm pretty sure we have some representatives of Desert Auto Plaza and Rogers, wherever they are. I think also what it is that as a council, we should not turn away your business, of course, but there has to be a balance. And what I was mentioning to Mr. Villa this afternoon is that, you do have a very small city here. And I think it's, 3 miles in circumference, probably. We have a very traditional, very large lot here, which is Robinson Ford, and we're not going to be able to say, I bought my vehicles there too. I almost thought, maybe I have a conflict. Maybe I shouldn't even sit here and talk about it, because I bought a car from the only new agency we have, and probably everyone here also did. But what it is that you also have an agency here in Calexico and others that participate in our city. And what they do is that their names are all over the Little League uniforms. They support football. They support a lot of the kids' things. You see a lot of these family members out there that are embedded in the community. And so the other question about what this proposal is and this item is also about trying to see if we can motivate Desert Auto Plaza or Rogers and maybe coming here and actually staying here in a brick-and-mortar type business and not just come as the fly-by-night. And if we can attract you that way, that'd be really great, because that's actually what we should be doing, is asking you at the same time, trying to allow you to do business in the city of Calexico, but also at the same time getting something back for our community. And so that's where I'm at, because I see that we do have an agency and a couple of others that are super involved. Even yours, Mr. Real, you have your boxing club. So there are people here that do things, that give back, and maybe that's where the feelings are a little bit, maybe, where we'd love for you to be able to be part of Calexico as well. Not only just come and take the business, because we know we have excellent opportunities for business, but we also have those community needs as well. And we invite you to visit with our economic development specialists, anyone who is interested in bringing business, brick and mortar, or with Mr. Villa. Thanks.
You have a representative here from Rogers that wishes to talk, because I know you guys supported the Mariachi Festival and everything you guys
You
can
don't
in
need
the city of Calexico, but, it's, I don't know if you wish to speak, but.
And also, our agenda has been altered by the administration.
What?
Okay. Can you pass those?
The agenda altered by the administration without the council's any directions.
Mayor,
They should have original agendas in there. Council never took any decision or direction, give the direction, change the agenda. We just made it, so we're going to continue next meeting. It's been continuing.
Okay, we have public comments. Mike Castro? Okay, will you please come forward to the podium?
My name is Mike Castro. I'm the Special Program Director for Rogers Nissan. I live in Imperial. I was born and raised up until about 8 years old here in Calexico, so I am really a native of Calexico. And what you say is partly correct, but like Mr. Leal said, Rogers is out there to help the whole community as a whole. You're talking about just Calexico, and as a Special Programs Director, I belong to just about all the chambers. I help all the chambers. Hildy is like a great friend of mine. I've been helping her out for 14, 15 years now. And anything that they need, we coming out and we provide our monies that we have made. Now, your people from Calexico are one of the major ones that go all the way over there and buy automobiles for us, and they are the ones that have said to us, why don't you ever have one of the things? Why do you go to Brawley? Why do you go to Imperial? Why do you go to the mall, okay, to make your sales? We'd like to not have to go that far and buy our automobile. And let's face it, the city's strapped for cash. Anything will help.
Has Rogers ever been interested in coming here on a permanent basis?
I would say yes,
Recently,
I don't know
or?
where they're at on that. I
We'd
mean,
like
I'm
to
not-
know.
I can't speak for the owner, but I can tell you that I meet with them just about every day. And
That'd be a great question.
we just hired a new salesperson, and her employee number is 2947, and my employee number is 3. So I've been with the company since 1975. I can really tell you the way that they think, the
2947,
way that
that's your
they
number, I
go
guess.
for the community, and I'm talking about a whole, I'm not just talking about Calexico. The thing is that they're making money, they want to be selling cars, but they don't just hoard the money. They go out to the community, whatever they have, and if anybody, and if you, ma'am, would say, hey, I need money for whatever, and it was for the children or whatever, the ones that came on over here, you would probably find the wallets being opened and helping that. And that's just not only for the Calexico, but all of it as a whole.
Sir, I have a question. So you guys still haven't done a tent sale in the city of Calexico, but you guys want to, correct?
Oh, yeah, we wanted to for quite some time. It's just that
Okay.
sometimes it's become,
So,
I understand it becomes
so
difficult.
wouldn't, you guys have never sold a car in Calexico?
Not in Calexico, no.
So if you were to do one tent sale here, and you guys did really good, wouldn't you say the owner would be enticed to look at doing something
Well,
brick and mortar here?
I'm sure,
Of course.
but, you
And
know, I
so
mean.
what's on
but-
the table right now is to let dealerships do one tent sale a year, which if you did it, let's say this coming year, and Mr. Les Rogers was, saw that he sold 50 cars. That's what I'm saying. That in itself would entice the possibility of dealerships to come in. I completely understand that even though I see Las Palmas and Santo Tomas as exactly what we're talking about, which is a tent sale that comes in every week, not just once a year.
It's permanent.
It's permanent. It shouldn't be permanent. The swap meet should open up and be closed like a normal swap meet is, but here, we've
Talking
let
about
them
two
go.
distinct industries.
But only in Calexico that stuff like that happens.
You're
But
talking about two distinct industries, though.
it's
Very
not.
distinct.
It's not, but, okay.
It's distinct industries.
I'm talking. Can you not talk while I'm talking? So, I guess what I'm saying is that I know that Rogers & Rogers helps the chamber a lot. It supports a lot of Little League and stuff here in Calexico as well. And as a region, see, here's the thing, not everybody wants to drive a Nissan. Not everybody wants to drive a Toyota. Not everybody wants to drive a Ford or a Chevy. You know, everybody has different taste. And so the person from Calexico, I'm sure every single person here has bought a car somewhere other than in Calexico, correct? San Diego, LA, you know. It's
Mossy
just
Nissan.
you know, not everybody has to buy a car here. And so what's happening now is that if you buy a car in El Centro or in San Diego or in LA, your tax money is staying somewhere else. That's the reality. So, you know, I think we've discussed this like 10 times already. Keeps coming back. I call for the question. I make a motion that we approve 110 sale a year
Let's,
for.
But Mr. Leal, they're
let's-
not, even though we're having used car sales, you're losing fact that it's the Nissan store that's putting on the sale. I'd say out of the 150 cars that we usually put up for sale, only about maybe 20% of them are actually Nissan. I have everything from BMWs to you name it, and I've got them out.
How
for
many
sale.
employees from Rogers are from Calexico? Would you say a percentage?
I would tend to guess about 45%.
45%.
If not more.
Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Castro.
Thank you.
Yes, city manager?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, this is an ordinance, so you would have to open up the public hearing.
Yes.
to see if there's any-
Mrs. Maribel Padilla, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You don't know how sick I am of this. I'm totally sick of this.
Where's the agenda?
First, it was supposed to come back when you guys did your homework. I guess that's the homework, okay? Maritza, I'm going to start with you. You are wrong, okay? You missed the last 2 meetings. You missed when the manager from Direct Auto Plaza was here. And he told us all what they do for the community. Well, then I guess you missed it because you said they don't do anything for the community. One of their employees,
Okay, one of their employees is a coach. So Direct Auto Plaza pays for all those uniforms for those kids that he coaches, okay? Now, I remember Mr. Les from Rogers and Rogers,
Rogers. Les
okay,
Rogers.
was Mardi Gras King. He brought in a lot of money. I would think that money comes from his income of his sales of his cars. So I'm thinking he brought in money to the city, okay, to begin with. Now going to Mr. Kim. Mr. Kim, you keep saying we gotta help out the local dealers because they're taking away sales. Well, you know what? Those local dealers need to show up and say something. I don't see any of them. Any local dealer, stand up. Not one local dealer is here. They're not complaining. I don't see them complaining. You're the only one complaining. Because they take away 100 cars, well, get off your butt and sell the damn 100 cars so Calexico can get the money. You guys are $3.5 million in the hole. There's no reason for you guys to be telling people not to come in here to give us $17,000. If it's $7,000, take it. We need it. And if I read this ordinance correctly, didn't it say 2 sales a year? Because Mandy said 1.
The way it's drafted is for 2, but the council, when they adopt it, will have to specify whether it's 1 or 2.
But the
I believe
council
one is fine.
council never authorized any direction to alter the agenda.
Okay.
And the step to illegally to do it.
Okay, I'm not going to talk about illegally staff or
Okay.
whatever you're talking about. Okay, that's on you guys. The thing was that I asked for some homework here, for you guys to look into this. Giving me a little figure of $17,000 is not doing your homework. Your homework would be to go out to your friendly little car dealers that you're talking about, Mr. Kim, and ask them, in the 45 days before they had the tent sale, how many cars did you sell? In the 45 days after the tent sale, how many cars did you sell? Let's see how many cars Direct Auto Plus actually took from them. And I'm going to say this, half of those little corner little lots are laundering money, and it's been in the newspaper. So that's why they're here. They're not here to help Calexico. It's been in the newspaper. I'm not making that up, okay? The other half, they sell cars that are salvaged cars to people that do not have credit, that cannot go to these tent sales, that cannot go to the mortar, to Robinson Ford and buy a car. And that's why they buy it there, okay? You guys want Rogers and Rogers to come in? You want Direct Auto Plaza to come in? I would love for them to come in. But then you're gonna cry when Ford goes out of business, okay? Because where are all the cars that Ford's supposed to be selling? So, really, who are you helping? Help the city, help the employees. You're trying to cut down 30%. Mr. City Manager, Villa, I hope you're taking your 30% too. I don't see you guys giving anything up. Nothing. I don't see you guys giving a dime. All of you should give your money back. Yeah, time me. Yeah, you really need to time me now. So give up your stuff. But instead, you're sitting here complaining about tent sales and not wanting to bring in revenue. You guys are a bunch of hypocrites. Give up your pay, give up your whatever, what is it, your insurance, give up everything for this city that you so much love. I don't see you doing that, but I see you trying to get the tent sales banned. You guys are hypocrites if you guys don't let these people come in and help us. Think about that. Think about your employees. And do the homework and do it right.
Okay, do we have any, City Clerk, Madam Clerk, do we have more public comments from the public? No?
Mayor, may I just make a comment?
Okay, let me finish this. So now we are,
Public hearing.
there is anybody from the public want to speak? Now that you guys can come to the, forward to the podium. No? None? Please, because I'm going to close this item. This public comments. Public comments.
Silvia Bernal, 818 4th Street. I happened to buy a car here with local dealer because I wanted to give an opportunity for the monies to stay here. I bought a PT Cruiser, and that's the worst mistake I have ever made in my life. I'm still paying for the car. Every month I have bills to get my car started. And the only guarantee I got was a 30-day guarantee. At that time, my financial status was not that great, so I couldn't go to a regular car dealer. But a year ago, I bought a Jetta in Coachella. And from now on, I will continue to go directly to the dealers to buy a car. That's my personal story, but I agree with what Mary Bell was saying. I don't agree in a lot of things that she says, but today, 100%. You know, you're in a situation that you don't have any money, and you don't want to bring in $20,000. If you bring in $20,000 every month, that's over $200,000 in a year. And if you are in the situation that you are, why would you not do it? I mean, it's what Mr. Real said. Maybe if these car dealers, like Mrs. Roger sees that there is a potential here, they will come and make their business here. But you have to give these businesses an opportunity. And the only way you can do that is by having the tent sales. Thank you.
Thanks to you. Okay, any additional comments from the council? Councilman Real?
No, my only comment is that I do agree with maybe the whole thing about having tent sales all the time. I completely get it, and I even think 2 tent sales is a lot. And so my motion is that we only allow 1 tent sale a year per dealer, and start off there. I mean, look, here's the reality. If they come and do a tent sale and they sell cars, they're gonna want to open a business here. And if not, then it is what it is. I mean, if they sold 50 cars in a weekend, then they must be thinking, well, how many cars can I sell in a year if I'm there all year? And you know what? People are wrong when they think that somebody said Robinson Ford would close. You know what? Psh, no way. If anything, local happens. Notice how every city you go to that sells cars, the car dealerships are all together. You notice that? Mile of Cars, Escondido Parkway, where all the dealerships are at. You know, if a Nissan dealership were to come here, or a Chevy dealership were to come here, they'd want to be next to Robinson Ford. And that would breed more people coming into Calexico to purchase cars, because they know if you want to buy a car, go to Calexico. You got Toyota, Chevy, Rogers, you got all the brands there. That's kind of what we used to be in the past. We used to be a used car mecca. I mean, people would come from Yuma, all over the place. Unfortunately, some dealers started doing some bad things, and we got a bad rap. And the newspaper didn't help, and the news didn't help, and you know, now everybody's like, I don't want to buy a car from somebody that's doing something wrong, or from a place that's selling cars that are crashed, you know. And we've just gotten a bad rap in the city. But like I said, I don't want to close, I don't want to open the floodgates for everybody to come in and do tent sales, but I also don't want to close the door. 1 tent sale a year is doing neither of that. That's not shutting the door, and that's not opening the floodgates. That's leaving the opportunity for people to find out if this is a city where they want to do business. And
Mr. Real, you sound like a used car salesman.
With a conflict of interest.
Okay, are you done, Mr. Real? Are you done?
Yeah,
I'd like to maybe say a couple things, Mr. Mayor, if I will. And
Sure.
where was Sylvia? Ms. Maciel. Never buy a used car, you're buying someone else's problems. But anyway, not to take anything away from Rogers and Rogers, Mr. Castro back over there, okay. I like the idea of once a year, because that means that, you know, like Mr. Real said, we're open for business, we're opening the doors. However, I disagree with the fact that having it every month would shut a lot of businesses down. And we don't want to go that route either. But I'd also like to see it once a year, maybe for the window of 1 month. and maybe raise the fees for outside agencies and leave the fees for, leave the fees alone for our local agencies. If our local agencies all got together and wanted to have a tent sale, just the Calexico and dealerships, and have it at either Grand Plaza or at where the big parking lots are, Walmart, about the only two places we can have it, then they would have, or the theater, they would have low fees.
Maybe free.
Or maybe,
Maybe free.
but discrimination is all over the world, okay? Especially in athletics, but I don't want to go there. So this is something that we need to really look at and say, hey, maybe they can come in once a year for the window of 1 month and see how it goes. And maybe just for local Imperial County dealers. Can we look at that? Because you've got, like Mr. Real said, you got your mile of cars, you've got thousands of dealerships, not thousands, but I mean hundreds possibly in Los Angeles and California, Los Angeles, San Diego, and Yuma. Do we have that big a market? I don't know. But I'm for once a month, once a year.
I will,
Once a month, once a year. That
No,
means
no.
12 times.
No, I'm sorry. 1 month a year,
1 month.
once a year. Like,
So
for
one time.
example, we can select the month of March, April,
April Fools.
and select, let's say, select the month of March. Weather's nice, they can set up a tent and see how it goes. We can always bring this back.
I will.
For $17,000, $18,000,
That is even the
I
numbers
will-
are real.
yeah,
I
that's
will-
what I'm basing on what we have in front of us.
I will rescind my motion, and I'll make that motion that we allow for the tent once a year, and only in the month of March.
And Imperial County dealers?
Sure.
We can't?
I'm not sure you can limit it to Imperial County dealers.
We set policy?
You set policy, but
Well,
we'll look into that.
We'll look into that. For now,
Okay.
we'll do it once a year, only the month of March.
Okay,
One time per dealership, that's it. Right?
okay.
One
Are
time
there
per dealership
any,
means once a year, means like one time direct auto plaza come in,
And-
then
and
the idea none of the dealers
and
can.
only one
No,
dealer,
no,
though?
no, no.
One dealer like
Yeah.
Rogers and
In
Rogers?
other words, if Rogers and Rogers want to come in, they'd have to do it in March too. Yeah,
So that means like March is we can have every weekend's tent sale
probably,
for dealers.
probably.
And
but-
also, in case of they have a consortium, which is a small dealers, they only have 10 cars, they making, let's say the Via's, Armando's car lot, they open dealers, the tent sale, they're gonna have associated with the 5 small dealers, put the car, 100 cars. And later on, one of the what's called consortium, Pancho car lot is gonna come again. So they're gonna keep on doing it.
Okay, I made a motion. We need to get done with this.
So, again, can you repeat the motion?
The motion is for once a year per dealership. So once a year per dealership, only in the month of March. That's it. It's that simple. Well, because, the count, if,
About,
I think,
okay,
let's
about
try.
a Memorial Day?
I'll tell you
or-
what, let's do it like once in March, and then if the council thinks that we need to change it, the dealership can come to the council and want to do it in June or July. Then we can go on a case-to-case basis. Well,
How
let's just,
about June?
let's do it,
The 4th of July?
June?
July.
July?
June,
All right,
everybody-
we'll do July.
Everybody should have their, how about
Well-
June? Everybody should have their income, this is a good point. Everybody had their income tax. You mail it in April, you get it in June.
Okay, we have a motion for just,
I'll tell you what if I make the motion for once a year, once a month, and then we bring it back before the next reading to do the month, to find out what month?
Okay.
How's that? Yeah? Okay, motion made.
Yeah,
Okay, the motion is for one tent sale
No,
a year per dealer, and the month we'll bring it back at the next, or do you want to say a month?
yes, you know what? we can decide today. We don't need to
Okay,
wait until
okay.
the other
So
public
June,
council meeting.
June, July? Month of
July,
July?
July
All right,
4th.
let's do July. The month
What
of
do you
July, okay. That's vacation, I guess. Month of July.
Okay, we have a motion.
Aye.
All those in favor of this item say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Was it once a year for the month of June?
June.
Okay, July. Okay, I'll give it a shot. I'll say second.
Aye.
Okay. Will you say aye? All those in favor? Aye. So,
No,
Marisa?
no.
No, okay, motion passed 3-2. Thank you.
I didn't vote it.
Well, you didn't- I mean, yes or no? Well,
Aye.
I'm just waiting for you.
No,
Two.
no.
Okay,
You're gonna
no-
see the chaos.
Motion carried. 3-2. Motion passed. Okay, next item. The designation of voting delegate and alternate for the League of California Cities Annual Conference, October 5th through 7, 2016, in Long Beach, California.
I motion to take the mayor and the alternative mayor pro
Give me
tem.
1 second. Who's the person now that goes?
The mayor is supposed to be the
Oh, the mayor's the one that
So-
always goes?
mayor, and the mayor's delegated was alternated by mayor pro tem. Just
Mr.
like
Mayor,
we
would
used,
you like a little report, or?
Is that the way it usually goes?
we usually.
In the past,
Okay.
it has been, the delegate would be the mayor, and the alternate would be the
Mayor
the
pro
mayor
tem.
pro tem. But because we have a change, then it would be the new mayor, and it's got to be appointed by name and appointed by the council. So in this case, if you traditionally do the mayor and mayor pro tem.
So
then that
mayor,
would be the-
Mr. Castro, alternate mayor pro tem, Mr. Real.
And that's a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Long Beach.
In Long Beach, yes.
Don't get on the Queen Mary, it may sink.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
The-
okay,
the-
we
the
have a
actual
motion by,
voting-
Are you going to go for sure?
yes. A motion made by
Second.
Kim, second by Real.
Aye.
All those in favor on this item?
Aye.
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 Anyway, aye.
Everybody support this item? Motion carried. Okay, item number 7, approval of the master calendar of the city council meetings for fiscal year 2016 through 17. City Manager, can you give us a report on that?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. What we decided to do this year is to put together a master calendar for you to look at of the future meetings for fiscal year 16 and 17. And I believe we provided you with an updated, revised month of November, where we initially thought that the Tuesday would fall on voting, on Election Day. So we provided to you that master calendar, and it's for your discussion to look at. We are proposing, as many cities do, to go dark the second meeting in August, as a lot of people take vacation on that day. And Gabby, do you remember what other day do we have?
So we're gonna have
going
the
dark in
election on
August.
the 8th November, not the
the
first. Because after first Monday, Tuesday, the elections.
Right.
So there's gonna be 8th, the elections, so we're gonna keep in first and third.
We're going to be I believe November 1st is the first meeting, and then November 15th is the second
So
meeting.
8th is gonna be election day. So we don't have to change our first and third.
We
No.
don't have to change it yet.
Okay.
No. And we're going to go dark in August, the first week?
Just the last meeting in August.
Okay, that'd be the 23rd? Or, okay.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
I have a question, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
In discussing with Mr. Villa, our proposed calendar, there was a concern, and there is a serious concern, I think, that in a possibility of looking at a change here as far as the date of our meetings, because in the many months that have been occurring, a lot of different activity, our city attorney name is Carlos Campos. And when Carlos took this job, I had a discussion with him because Carlos actually, Mr. Campos has another job on Tuesdays. And so our city's legal documentation shows that we have a city attorney, Carlos Campos. And no offense, all respect is given, is that we are spending twice on city attorneys. And why is that? Because when Mr. Hargraves comes, Mr. Hargraves then absorbs a 6-hour meeting, and then you need to go and meet up with Mr. Campos to bridge all of that information. And then Mr. Campos then needs to come back and bridge it back again, and then you come back over here. So, you know, I always thought that was a bit of a strange arrangement, but it is what it is. But my proposal is that I had thought that originally we were going to have a lot of changes to Wednesdays, but in view of the financial situation and the fact that the taxpayers do deserve one good attorney to be here, and it has been difficult. You know it has been difficult, Mr. Hargraves, especially for somebody like me that has so many questions. And at the rate that we're paying your agency, your company, we're getting the short end of the stick as far as representation. No offense, Mr. Hargraves, but maybe considering if we could move our meetings over to Wednesday, we can actually have our city attorney be present, and we wouldn't need to pay this representation twice. Well, it's not twice, but there is an added amount of billing time that this type of arrangement has caused the city. So it may be alleviated if we just move the date. And because, you know, we've gone through union negotiations, you know, all this budget problems, so many issues, lawsuits and things like that. And in my view of what we've been doing, we do lack a better structure for that, plus with less cost. So that is my proposal at this time to see what the council thinks, if they want to maybe consider that, because I would like Mr. Campos to be in charge of this city. And at this given point, I've only seen him here probably in the city council meeting once. No offense, Mr. Hargraves, but
He's an attorney, he doesn't take offense.
yeah, I know. But you understand,
So
I'm
is
pretty
your-
sure.
I'm sorry, is your proposal then to propose to the council to consider moving the meetings to the first Wednesday and the third Wednesday of the month?
That would be my idea.
Okay, so it's, I guess it's a policy decision on there.
Right.
Yeah.
And also because, again, we're spending some extra amount here. And it's not the best structure, because when you are working through very complex issues, the back and forth between your representatives, we're losing some stuff. And we shouldn't be in that position. So that's why I kind of came up with that idea that maybe that might be a good thing.
And I would concur, it would be more efficient if Mr. Campos could cover these meetings.
Thank you. And again, all due
And I
respect.
believe the first and third Wednesday, he would be available. So.
Right, I remember asking him that early on.
Well, what is the desire of the
I
council?
mean, is that something we can do now? We have to bring it back?
It's, you can actually amend, if you wanted to.
We have to go to the city ordinance, change it. I believe city ordinance is saying first and third
Tell
Tuesday.
you what, we can bring this back. I'd like to take a look at the calendar to see if there's any conflict with any holidays that we, so if that's the direction you want to give me, to look at the Wednesday, the first Wednesday and the third Wednesday, let us, the city clerk and I, look at the calendar again and make sure that there's no conflict, and we'll bring this back, if that's the desire that you have.
So there is a motion to continue with this item, Maritza, or
What was the
item number?
approval, okay.
Of the
Motion to
continue
continue
To continue, yeah. And
for the
what I'll
next
do, I'll bring
public
it
council
for
meeting?
consideration of any effects of moving the city council meetings officially over to the Wednesdays.
Okay.
Same schedule where it's the first and the third, but moving it over to Wednesday.
I will concur with that.
Okay, we have a motion
Thank you.
second. All those in favor of this
Aye.
item, say aye.
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 To bring it back, right?
Mr. Kim?
Continue, ISI.
Okay, motion carry 5-0. Okay, item number 8, discussion on consideration of 5 years forensic financial audit. And I believe, Mr. Kim, you put this in the item?
Yes. As a financial forensic audit, which is not only financial, it's all the project we have, which is like a grant. Grant spending, we have issues with the grant spending. Some of the enterprise fund on how to use it, and those, our expenditure don't even need to be have. I want to asking about the 10 years forensic audit. We need to find out what's going on, what is going wrong, and who's responsible if they have any criminal activities, or if something we didn't do wrong, or we did wrong. So we have to find out. This is good. This is going to be find out we learning from our past mistake, and to preventing for the future anything can happen. And also, this one is going to be helping us to dealing with our lawsuits we have, and also we have a lot of issues. We have to find out how we spend this wrongly. We gone this way. We are on the lots of things. Is the microphone going down? A lot of things we've been not doing right, so they're causing this chaos and today's all the deficit. So we need to find out where is wrong and who's responsible. If someone is responsible, we have to go to the legal process.
You know, I like the concept that Mr. Kim has brought up, but I can tell you what's been happening is the turnover in administration, right there. You turn over administration from every year, you're going to get problems like this. You're going to get instability, and the instability that was been caused by this council over the last several decades, or the last decade, has been because administration has been fired, and we scramble to get interims here and interims there. Your concept is good, Mr. Kim. I'd like to support it. However, we got to look at the cost of 10 years of forensic audits. We have to look at the time it's going to tax our employees, who right now are already under the gun, and we're already looking at closing the gap, so to speak, with union negotiations. Maybe the timing isn't right, Mr. Kim. Maybe we should wait till we really have a grasp on our collective bargaining, and once that is done, then we should really pinpoint and see which years we kind of let things go, so to speak. You have an administration. The administration manages the city. But if we turn over every year or every 18 months, we're going to get problems like this. Until we establish some stability, until we establish a sense of trust amongst ourselves, amongst administration, then we're continuing with this madness, with this insanity. So I would venture at this time that we take a step back, allow Mr. Villa and his financial staff to work with the collective bargaining units and settle on a contract before we jump into 5 or 10 years of forensic audits. And like I said, it's a good idea, but we need to have a little more specific as to what our desired outcomes is to find out if there was criminal activity. That I don't know, but right now we're taxing our employees. We're running on skeleton crews here, and you're overworking them. Then you're asking them for perhaps a reduction in salary, and you're asking them to do a lot more with a lot less. And at this point, Mr. Kim, I would say maybe just take a step back. Let's let Mr. Villa and the union leaders try to work out a plan for at least a year, and then maybe bring it back. Because the more you burden the employees with this extra stuff, what about the regular stuff that needs to go on a day-to-day basis? So, like I said, Mr. Kim, I support this concept, but maybe the timing is wrong.
I believe the time is right, because the more it takes more time, they are more hiding. We should have as soon as possible and costly. When we have some problem, we spending money for the lawyer to cover, lawyer for the protect. This one is for the protect of the city, and we have responsible to over $40,000 citizens to responding what is being wrong. A lot of citizens got shocked, and we are failing to serve the community. Now we're failing to give the answer, right answer to the community, what was wrong, went wrong. And I believe and also we don't have much cost. How much is? Probably we can have some kind of audit paper process to try to get the cost to make the decision 5 or 10 years, whatever.
Okay,
May
Mr.
I?
City Manager, please present the staff report
May
on
I?
this item. Yeah, well, already.
I'd
Well,
like
let,
to make a comment too.
Mrs. Maris Hurtado to speak. Okay.
Thank you.
And after the City Manager, please.
Thank you. Mr. Villa, we spoke this morning about this item a lot, and one very important player in a municipality like ours is our auditors. We have auditors, Penn and McGeady, and they've been around, John, probably about 10 years with us? Longer than that. So our auditors have been standing by our side, watching all of this, because they participate every single year with us. So when we talk about a forensic audit, it is true, I was kind of trying to find out what the heck are we looking for, but apparently we're looking for criminality. However, in every audit that you receive, which is the last one that we received, that I believe you said you've looked at already, is the fiscal year 13-14, and the one that we're waiting for that is actively in session right now is the 14-15. When our auditors finish the auditing, they provide a report, and they will tell your city if you are qualified or unqualified as far as any possibility of fraud and things like that. So when your auditor gives you an indication in their results, that's when you actually then need to start taking action about a forensic audit. And at this point, I believe that a lot of us here have failed to go towards that resource and ensure what really is their findings, understand their findings, and at least be on the same page. And I know that, you have just started, Mr. Villa, but those are the experts. We should be reading those results. And those results in the last one that we did receive had no unqualified findings. So the matter that we have before us right now is mainly discontent, I would say, as far as how things have been managed in the city. But discontent, there's a huge difference between a discontent and suspicion of criminality. And so, like we were saying earlier, the city should be able to start receiving a little more support in having the reassurance that they need. And your auditors do that for you, because we're not out here running amok. There is actually some oversight. What has happened a lot in this city, and we were talking about, is that there has been a lot of management where the structure itself needs improvement, and that is what we did in our finances in 2013, is that we purchased a program, a software, a modern software, to end up with modern reports that were going to be generated. And so this transition, this gave the opportunity for a lot of doubt and suspicion. But if we do end up having some type of qualified opinion from our auditors, which we should know pretty soon, and that is probably the most skeptical of the years, which is our 14-15, when Mr. Warren and Mr. Quinn were going through all of that, then maybe. But going back 10 years, when you already have a professional, which is Penn and McGeady, telling you they themselves already went through the audit, and they are the experts. So it's kind of interesting that we want to spend money to be doubtful of certain experts when that is the process that municipalities have in place. So where are we at trying to go off that process to yet burden, like Mr. Moreno is saying, when maybe we're not appreciating what our auditors do for us?
Okay, Mr. Villa, please. Mr.
Yes,
Villa?
so I would agree with you that if there's anything to be looked at in terms of a negative finding, we should really wait for the audited financial statement to be published. And if there's a finding in there that causes suspicion, then I wouldn't hesitate to come back to you and say, look, we need to kind of go back and do a forensic analysis. But the audit is already costing us over $60,000 to $80,000 every year. And I believe that if we do a forensic audit, it's going to cost us probably more than that, $100,000 to $120,000 a year, per year. So if you're looking at 5 years, you're looking at $500,000 that we can't afford right now. So I would recommend that we rely on the CAFR, the financial audit that we're about to receive, and if we see something in there that's suspicious, then we take it to the next level, and we do the forensic analysis that you want.
Okay, Mayor.
Yes, Mr. Real.
So
Then you.
the auditors, Pun and McGiddy, what years are they about to give us? Both years together?
14, 15.
I believe that we have 13, 14
Already done, correct?
done, and we're in the process of working for 14, 15,
Okay.
and we're weeks away, right?
Yes, thank you. Yes, council members, it's true. Auditors for the past year, they validate the hard work of the finance department providing these numbers. It's not reflecting anything, or they don't report anything wrong, fraud so far. So they will validate the accounting numbers, what I said. And we are weeks to you have a report. Actually, today I asked for a draft so I can present the progress of the audit today, but they can complete it so far today. I was trying to provide some progress on the audit for next meeting.
Okay,
This item was put here,
Okay.
I'm not done. But this item was put here by who exactly?
By Mr. Kim.
Oh, by Mr. Kim, okay.
Okay.
I'm not done.
well,
Let
what,
Mr. Real
he was
finish.
done, that's why the city manager is talking.
No, but he's not. Are
Okay.
you done?
You allowed me, no, I'm not done. So this is a discussion to do a 5-year forensic audit at a cost of $120,000 approximately?
Per year.
Okay. So per year?
Per year, yeah.
So you're looking at $720,000? Oh, no, $700,000 pretty much. 600,000?
$600,000.
No, 750, right? Whatever.
600,000.
The point is that we don't, yeah, it's $600,000. Do we have that money?
No, we don't.
No, okay.
So,
Motion not
okay.
to approve.
Okay. Mr. Kim.
okay, so you said that the $120,000 per year?
It varies, we would have to, have someone take a look at how complex, how complicated. What we did is we did a quick research of what it was costing, out on the market, and we came back with a range of 80 to 120.
Yeah, when I was a school board, we took the major J, took the forensic audit. It didn't cost much. And also, and then they sent it to the DA, and then they just gone for the forever, because there were lots of the criminal activities, suspicious criminal activities there.
How many people went to jail for that?
Nobody, because the DA is stopping at the DA.
I think it's cheap for the school district because they have a lot of math teachers.
They finished the Measure A forensic.
Okay.
They did finish it,
First of all,
and there was nothing found.
you,
4 years. Because Mr. Kim was a proponent of it.
this guy, you are somebody.
I'm
Okay.
somebody.
You are somebody.
That was a good one.
Okay, and what's called I've been, my 6 years been elected, I've been since the school board, I was, every what's called the conferences, every training, I go talk with the auditors. Even I've been sitting the auditors table, round table, I was asking them what we gonna find out, for sure we're gonna wrong, every audit, we don't find anything wrong. What we can find it, they were suggesting criminal, that any audit, they only go by the number. So we buy $1,000 for the what's called the water. Then, if we have a water, the invoice for the water, we have a receipt for the water, $1,000, the audit is passed. Because whatever happens is proven there, numbers there. That's audit. But why we spending $1,000 audit, $1,000 for the water, and really actual cost, and those kind of investigative audit, it gives us the clear pictures there might be involving criminal activities or not. So that's what the audit, regular audit, they as long as we have all the receive every paperwork there, they're not going to say anything. As anything suspicious one, you're supposed to go to investigative audit or forensic audit. That way we're going to find out to see what is going on.
And so we spend all this money and find out that there's no criminal activity? Could that be a possibility?
No, not for the 120,000 for the year. That's for sure. It's,
Are you
when we have
he's implying there's criminal activity?
Yeah, that's what I'm
forensic
getting.
audit, we can RFP process, and also probably we can go like briefly to which areas can be more suspicious, and then we can go further into the more deeper. So they have several steps to going in. Anyhow, we need to find out what's going on here. That's my bottom line, and then I believe the public wants to know the answer. Why we gone bad? Not only council member to keep changing the administration.
Can we afford
but
this?
Thing is, something goes wrong here. It's something money we spending.
Can we afford this right now?
Right.
Mr. Kim, so you believe that we can afford even $500,000 to do this?
We're not going to know until we go to RFP process how much it will cost us.
No, he says, the
So
city
after
manager
we
says
can
he
we can
knows.
make the final decision when we have our RFP how much it's going to be cost us.
Okay, so what you're saying, you want to go to an RFP to
To
ask how
find
much
out
it will
how much
cost
how can be
to
done.
do a forensic
and
audit
also,
on the
and
year
also
for
right
5
now
years.
our staff to providing all the paperwork for the audit. So in a way to our staff not double working.
Mr. Kim, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I think you mentioned that you, at different conferences, would sit down with the auditors, and I think you must have been talking when you were a school board member. Is that what you said? Did you say that you have had lots of different conversations with auditors?
No, yeah, but
Okay.
at every conference.
So let me ask you a question. Have you talked to Pun and McGeady? Ken Pun, our auditor? Because you've been on council for almost 4 years, but have you ever met him? And, I mean, I know he's come here, but lately, within all of this chaos.
Yeah, I've been talking with them.
You have sat down with him and
Yes, I
reviewed
sat down with
the
him.
audits with him lately?
Not really.
Okay, I think that's important. Maybe we should actually, I was
I've
just
been
telling
talking
Mr.
with him.
Villa, why don't we invite him over and let's ask him questions and ask
I've
him
been
what the
talking with them.
process. What do you think, Mr. Villa?
But
To have
the
Mr.
auditors,
McGeady come here, give us a presentation, because, I mean, we're not experienced here, so maybe he can give us some guidance as far as how the processes are. What are
the
the
auditors,
practices?
their job is not an investigation audit. They just for the like counting, all the process, all the paperwork's right, all the process been done right. That's the auditor's job.
Okay, any?
The thing is that if we even entertain it, we need to know specifics on how and why and what, and we're not even having discussions with our own auditors right now.
Okay,
So
this
a lot
is
of
a
us-
discussion and potential action item. What is the desire of the majority of the council?
I motion that we continue this till after the audit and see if there's anything that the audit finds that could be possibly something we want to look at. You know, I don't think the citizens or the staff want to spending $600,000 on a witch hunt that, I mean, might lead to, let's just say, it might lead to an arrest, or it doesn't. I mean, I think right now I want to hear what Pun and McGeady have to say about 1415 before I make a decision on spending $500,000 on a forensic audit. If Pun and McGeady or somebody is to find something, then maybe it's warranted. But I think Mayor Kim, I think we should wait. I'm sorry, ex-Mayor Kim. We should wait on. It's only what 2-3 weeks away. So I mean.
Mr. Gutierrez, do you think maybe you can help us out and provide us with the latest audit? I still have mine, the 1314, so that the council and Mr. Villa can be more familiar with the last results that we saw, and that way we could bridge those two.
One question I do have, because I know that 13, 14 was also a year that was overspent by like $3 million, correct? How come if Put in Manigiri is so good, they didn't find those $3 million overspent?
Ask him when he comes.
Okay.
He'll explain to you.
They reported on the audit, Mr. Real. They reported the audit that the city overspent $3.4 million.
Oh, they did?
Yes, they did, and they did
Read
a
it.
presentation. And they reported.
I wasn't on
city
council
overspent-
when that happened.
City overspent 13,
Okay.
14.
All right. So that's my motion to continue it to the next, not the next meeting, but maybe the meeting after that, so maybe the second meeting.
Okay, we have a motion.
We don't have to make the decision. There's not, it's discussion, no?
Okay, so
Well,
we'll
this
just
is
leave it like that. then.
Discussion
Okay.
and
I'll rescind my
potential
motion.
action.
I'll rescind my motion then. I have some,
Yeah, but on this one, on the item number.
we're just continuing because it's, we don't have to do anything,
Okay,
so.
discussion and potential. Okay, I got it. Okay, future agenda items. I'm going to start to my right, Mrs. Marita.
How many do we get?
Whatever you want.
I don't know. It all depends.
Open?
What was the question?
How many do we get?
I think we had said one.
For,
Was-
How
we are in
many,
the item, future
how many-
agenda item.
I'm sorry?
If there's a consensus of the majority of the council to have an item be heard,
Used to be two.
Yeah,
Okay, two, that's fine.
okay.
All right. Just checking. Okay, I'm a little concerned about two things, which would be the first are parks. And Mr. Villa, I'd like to be able to see if maybe, this is not probably necessarily an agenda item now, but it would be followed up by an agenda item with regard to, one more time, because we do this with every city manager, is a park analysis. And for us to be able to really understand what we have as resources, because I keep getting the question about Hearthstone, that 2.5 acre that hasn't been developed in Hearthstone. And because I lived there was a conflict and I couldn't have that conversation. So a lot of people are asking me specifically about that 2.5 acre parcel. However, if we can go around with our parks subcommittee, which is myself and Mr. Castro, which I'm pretty sure we haven't changed that yet, we do have this couple of subcommittees, active subcommittees, and that's one of them. We've done it before a couple of times, but maybe we can do it again with you. But because we've already dedicated ourselves in some funding to improve Cordova, and nothing's happened just yet on that one, but it would be great for us to be able to discuss that. And like I said, follow it up with some kind of a community presentation as far as where we're going to go with parks. The second one is something we also discussed today, which is the cleanliness of our downtown area. Downtown has what's called a BID, Business Improvement District, and each business owner pays $100 towards their participation in BID, and it's added to their business license. And each year, we have approximately, I would say, correct me, somebody out there, that about $40,000? Is it? Okay. So it's about $40,000. It's a fund that's there that we should be reinvesting that into our downtown. And the one way that, and I'm not here to criticize necessarily, but something that I'm observing, and because I watch a lot of this stuff, is that maybe right now, because we're so pressed with funds, and that is an extra little fund there that can actually probably be returned back to our area as downtown, and maybe look at the switching over of that expense instead of advertising, because I see that a majority was spent on advertising, spend it on cleaning. Because we are no longer doing the street and sidewalk water pressure service, and that's really badly needed. That's probably one of our worst complaints about downtown is the odor of our alleys. And so if we can, I've been wanting to go to those bid meetings, and I'm having that conversation with my appointee, that maybe we might want to have that discussion right now about redirecting our expenses towards cleaning. And it's not necessarily an item, but if you want to make it an item, we could talk about that. Thank you.
Yeah, just to kind of elaborate a little bit more about the bid, I don't think the council can take that money away from the bid and use it how it pleads. You have to go through the bid process to have them do that. Mike, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. I wasn't necessarily saying that we take the money away. It is to have that discussion with BID and let them know that you know, there has to be
So
some
maybe
unity.
maybe a joint meeting between the council and the bid? Is that possible? Maybe? Yeah, okay.
So let me make sure I understand this. You like
A joint meeting with the bid, city council
to be
bid
able to-
meeting?
To be able to find out.
To go over their finances too, and see how that's being used as far as, because downtown is so needy, and if we're only spending on advertising when we have aesthetics to take care of, maybe we might want to have that
Okay,
discussion.
well, let me, so, does the majority of the council feel that we could do a bid meeting, city council meeting together, or should we just let the bid do their thing? Are we micromanaging our bid?
Why don't we provide a subcommittee of the council to go to a bid meeting? No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I have a proposal. Why don't you, agree to direct the city manager to talk to the bid about possibly shifting some of the funding so that we can spend some of that on maintenance and power washing the streets.
All right, well, we,
Power washing was doing great when we were doing that. It really did make a difference. We even had some temporary outhouses there for a little bit, even though they weren't very well used, but it made a little bit of a difference, especially with all the farm laborers coming through.
the power washing, I think, some of the people that sleep there didn't like it very much. They were getting wet at night.
Okay. So let me have a discussion with them then, and I'll come back and report that back to you.
Okay, so my agenda item actually is a solution for this downtown problem. So I hope, again, I'm going to bring this up again. I know we brought it up once before. It still hasn't, I'm not sure where we left off on it. John, I know that you were correct, which was I think, if I'm not mistaken, the council was looking at possibly a pilot program, which was for the closure of Rockwood between First and where the alley is. So pretty much between Selwick and Jack in the Box, just that area. And then possibly, obviously, leaving the alley open for the trash and what they do that right there. And see, the ideal thing as far as I'm concerned is that we do a pilot program, close that up, and if we can, the bid has some monies to purchase kiosks. And I know that was a plan for them to maybe purchase 4 kiosks, which could be rented by the city or by the bid to create an income, a monthly income of, for example, $4,000 if they rented every kiosk for $1,000. I know we have a lot of people selling cell phones all over the place that don't have permits, and that's possibly somewhere they could rent to get that shopper from Mexicali to buy these cell phones or whatever it is they're selling. And those $4,000 could go to hire somebody to clean downtown. The bid could kind of hire 1 or 2 people, one during the day, one during the night, to just clean downtown. If that might be a good investment on the bid's part, and it would actually help the city not have to worry that much about downtown. And that's something that, like I said, it already came to the council. I believe if I'm not mistaken, it went back to the city manager to send letters to the people, the owners of those properties there, that could be that could have a say in stakeholders as far as closing that place. But I think it'll be a great thing to get that done. I think it's a great place for concerts, for the farmers market, and not just that, but with the new border coming, when people come into Calexico, we can slowly, I know we don't have money, but we can slowly get benches on there from somebody that wants to donate, maybe some shades, we can slowly kind of fix it. So I want to see how the council feels on that. I know there's some renderings. Maybe you guys can bring the renderings that you guys have already, right, Ralph? So that's my agenda item. The second one is, you know what? The second one is on Cordova Park. It's kind of the same thing Maritza Hurtado was. Cordova Park has some monies to get something done, but ever since I got on council, and it's been more than a year and a half already, I've asked, and nobody has been able to tell me why we have that dirt there, and why we can't either find the owner
Well,
or
that's
find
what we'll
out
do.
why
Yeah, when we go.
why that dirt hasn't been removed so that something can get done there. Because the money's there, but somehow we just haven't done anything. So I wanna find out how fast we can remove that dirt so we could do something.
Okay, Mr. Kim, are you done?
Yeah,
Mr. Kim?
Yeah, before
do
I
it.
put up a future agenda, I believe that what I heard about Cordova Park, somebody put the illegal dump in the soil, and the person who owns that soil suing, so they have kind of like a legal issues in the tangling there.
Yeah, but
That's what I heard.
well,
So anyways, I was bringing the EDA grant on the EDA grant information on the Grand Plaza. Last meeting, we supposed having the agenda, and you guys, the administration took it out on the agenda. I want to have the public discussion on the EDA on the Grand Plaza ones. I will understanding city's status is changing. So all those things, the details, and we want to discuss from the public. So I want to put on the agenda for the future and the next meeting. And also Townsend Plaza, the EDA grant responsible. We supposed to have it. We continue this meeting is not on this meeting neither. So we should put together to discussion about our responsible on the EDA grants for next meeting.
Actually, we're not quite ready to talk about that yet because when it was approved by your council, it was a concept, the concept of a dual application. We haven't sat down to figure out what the responsibilities will be yet in terms of the construction of Second Street. We still yet to have meetings with the developer to finalize that. So I wouldn't be able to bring anything back to you at the next meeting and be able to have answers for you yet, because there's still a lot to be determined. What you've approved and what the county has approved is a conceptual application to EDA for a probable $3 million grant. We don't have the specifics yet.
And for the future agenda, to find out, please, this is not the agenda, the informational ones, the Amity National Report. After the deducted, we supposed to have it, I don't have it yet. Amity National Report?
For which one?
Amity National Report, that's all the money the people owes to the city of Calexico, the list.
It's our housing portfolio.
Yeah, housing project.
Right, so
So I want to have what's called the informational ones what's called the Amity National Report. There's a deduct one. Last time what I heard from the state, they're going to deduct it. I don't know yet. And the last meeting, another agenda was casino. I'd like to have a discuss about all the information gathering to discussion about the casino for the next.
Isn't
next
that 3 items he's requesting?
No, not the 3 items. They
I
were
thought-
already there.
Oh, okay. But the casino is
That's an item I'm asking.
there's a for sale sign on that lot, I think.
So we need a discussion, we find out what's going on, we need to discuss ourselves what's going on here. Because we've been, council approve it, we have a vote, even they go to the election, voting from the community to support it, and then now suddenly the land is for sale, so we need to find out what's going on, and then we need to make the clean the city's responsible, or city's way of standing on the casino project.
Okay.
Actually, this is the one of my future agenda. The other one is the Grand Plaza, which I've been asking since then. The other Townsend Plaza has been tabled it or continued. It's not on agenda.
What is your future agenda item?
Casino.
Casino project, discussion of the cost.
That thing's been dead for a long time.
So we are discussing.
What I understood
to
last
present
is that the application was on the desk of the Bureau of Indian Affairs, and I haven't heard anything after that.
So I can bring back an item.
Okay.
Giving you a brief report on it.
That would be a good idea.
So you just have one item?
Yeah.
That's it?
Wow.
The other one is the continuous
Uh,
ones.
The other one continues.
Okay, Mr. Moreno?
I'd like to know about the casino too, so I'll second for Kim.
Okay.
See how easy that was? Like a hamburger, in and out.
You sure you want to elaborate on the process? No?
I don't. Okay, I think that's enough for our mayor. Our mayor.
Be
City
mindful
manager.
that I have negotiations all the next 2 weeks, so I don't want a lot of homework.
I don't- Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn that meeting at 8:30 early.
Wow, record. Aye.
Aye.